The inpatient ward where I work, we try to use the spaces we have within meetings for conversations about, the work we are doing, how we feel it's going, what difficulties arise, and to try and find some of the strengths in what we're doing as well. It's very easy to sit around and just be very critical about, oh, we could do this better, we could do that better. Then there's a kind of more ad hoc approach to reflection, which tends to happen. Sometimes they're kind of corridor conversations, they're a little knock on the office at the end of the day. There is a need to have those moments of reflection on how you're feeling this experience is going for you and the impact that your work and your attitude has on everything around you, including the patients you work with.
I use reflective practice on a daily basis. For me to sit down at the end of each day and reflect on the interactions I've had with patients and relatives is important, so that I'm sure that I'm giving them the right information at the right time in their recovery and in their discharge pathway.
So yes, I use reflective practice primarily in two ways. One, as part of a member of the interdisciplinary team, and in that context we have a regular monthly reflective practice session where we review a case that we've recently discharged. But it's surprising actually when you get together and you do actually reflect on practice, just what kind of subject material comes up. So that happens routinely, and it's become valued in the team as well. It's something that actually we look forward to doing. The other aspect of how I use reflective practice in my own personal practice is I've been keeping a journal for quite some period of time, and a lot of my reflection is about the nature of the communication that I'm having with the broader network, because with vocational rehab you are having conversations with a much broader audience than the patient, their family and the interdisciplinary team.
I use reflective practice daily. It's a good way to improve my own standards. It's a good way to look at and reflect on, is there anything I could have done different? Is there anything that came across wrong? Is there anything that I can improve? But it's a day-to-day learning process, and it should be done on regular. You can discuss it with your peers, even with juniors. You can talk and discuss, how was that? How's things going on? Could I have done that differently? Could that have been improved? And even with the seniors, you can talk to them and they give critical feedback to improve.
We have a little get together every morning. It's called a huddle we have every morning, and I always check in and make sure everyone's okay, following, and if anyone's got any concerns that they want to speak about, they come and see me. But yeah, so we generally do it every day. The end result is just to ensure the staff are well supported, I'm well supported, and also the patients get the best care.
Within my ward over at Broad Green, we have regular sessions as a team to reflect. I take time out for myself in the day just to think about what's gone on today, jot a few things down. I kind of have like a bit of a kind of notepad that I can keep a log of things that are pertinent for my learning experiences and to bring to any of my personal one-to-one supervisions with my seniors. But also as a coordination team, we have regular kind of peer support as well on a weekly basis, where I can come and share any experiences and learn from and kind of bounce ideas off my colleagues.
So I use reflective practice all the time in my job. I think it's really, really important, essential for any kind of learning or development. So I reflect on everything in my role, any patient interaction, any pieces of work I've been doing, kind of meetings, communication with other staff members, and think about kind of things that went well, things that perhaps didn't go as planned, how to move things on, what to do next, what to do better next time.
I go home sometimes, have a pint of water, sit on the couch, and if I've had a busy day, I just sit there and think, oh, could I have done that differently? And then sometimes I'll come in the next day, speak to the ward manager and say, oh, we had a very busy day yesterday. But, on reflection, I think we did the best that we could in that situation.
It really helps sharing, being honest, opening up as a team as to what goes well, what doesn't go well. It's also a method of,
congratulating the team on things we do well and encouraging them, but also recognising areas of improvement.
I use reflective practice in lots of ways. Very informally, when it's just me having carried out a treatment or been involved in a session or an interaction with family, patients, or even an interaction with other staff. There's obviously things going through my head at that time about what was good about it, what wasn't good about it, what went well, what we could do differently. And then within work, it's formalised a little bit. So we can actually sit down with a structure that does very much the same, but actually makes you think in a little bit more detail.